Hello, and welcome back to the Global Falcons podcast. I'm your host, Andrew L.G. Hunter.
And I'm Angela Hunter.
And we're bringing you the stories of the week. What are the stories of the week this week?
The first one we have is 4 ways AI can save your life.
Ooh, that sounds like it could be good for everybody. After that, we're going to jump into Finfluencers, Financial Advice Revolution.
And then we're going to talk about vegetables growing in grocery stores without soil.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we will dive into telehealth platforms empowering millions.
And then the final topic will be underwater tractors replanting seagrass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very neat. That sounds cool.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of it right now. How does that work? But we'll get into that. So let's start out with 4 ways AI can save your life. Yeah, do you wanna start this off?
Yeah, so the 4 ways AI can save your life, they're sort of talking about it in more of the medical space. That's what I've got from all of them. So they can offer regionally specific healthcare based on the environment you're living in, the type of toxins that could be around, and then diseases and illnesses that are common to that region, and give you sort of regionally specific healthcare. And then they can sort of see the accessibility you have around you, like the hospitals that are there, the medical clinics that are around you, the various resources you would be able to access just based on your region.
So, and then this would be attached to your healthcare app?
That's what I assume, yeah.
It goes into your health passport.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of that set up for everyone, but I do think that that's coming more and more, especially with AI.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think it's good. If we can have AI telling us, because there's so many people that don't know the resources around them. They need help and they don't even know where to start looking. So they don't even know that there's apps out there.
And to even start on Google searches, you need a base level, right? And then you need to be able to extrapolate on that. And how do you do that if you don't know what you're even talking about?
Have you noticed that if you've done Google searches within the last 2 weeks, a lot of things now start with an AI-powered response and then the normal Google responses. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool.
It is cool. It's a little frightening as well.
A little bit.
I mean, that's the first time that's happened, right? Mm-hmm. It's always been based on fact, and now we're basing it on something that I think we've seen in the past. It's not 100% right. It throws in things that just as filler words even, and that's not great for learning. But
no, but it's a great start.
Yeah. I think it's going to learn from us learning, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that part's really cool. So what? AI enabled electrocardiograms.
Yeah.
That's
an
pretty
EKG
neat.
machine. Yeah.
What is that?
So
this tool can spot 3 kinds of heart diseases much faster than standard EKGs. It can even detect it before symptoms become apparent. This is really cool. Early detection means it can make a huge difference in the patient's quality of life and longevity. I mean, if it can early detect it, it can better treat it or get rid of it, right?
Yeah, early detection is always key, and I think that's kind of where the health systems are failing right now. We're from Canada, so our health system is a little bit overloaded, and I think early detection and prevention isn't really at the forefront because there's so much backlog of people that need immediate care for extreme cases. That early detection and prevention just isn't happening. And then that just compounds on the system because people are becoming sicker and sicker, and it's becoming a heavier and heavier burden because we're not catching things quick enough because there's just not time and resources for it. So I think having AI-powered machines that can detect these things faster and don't cost as much is probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's going to eliminate some jobs in that sense, but at the same time, it's going to
I think it's going to free up jobs. Yeah, because it's going to eliminate some jobs, but then there's going to be more job positions open for the things that need backlog to be
And
filled.
probably the people with the jobs that are being replaced, it'll be like an easy upgrade for them. Well, not like, obviously they didn't expect this upgrade to have to happen in their careers, but we've seen this during COVID. Like I was given from the government a bunch of different job offerings that they would help pay for any of my employees to upgrade, and so I think that'll happen again, and it'll just be for more extreme jobs, right?
Yeah, in the medical field.
Right now, there's like a huge problem too, because, and this is why I love AI getting involved with medical. Like right now, I was in a car accident a few years ago, and like I'm still waiting for a surgery, and to me, this all could have been like fast tracked a lot faster if everyone had believed me what was wrong with me. Like I didn't know 100% what was wrong with me. There was just no, because I'm not a doctor, right? But I did know that there was something wrong with me that they didn't think was wrong with me. And that was fearful for me, but I think going in the future, it's just going to be a little bit different because the AI is going to be able to tell them what exactly is wrong with them, or like wrong with me, just from like breathing weird, and we'll get into that later.
Yeah, but like a full body scan.
Yeah, exactly. And then it'll be that much faster to get the proper treatment needed. Whereas like they all looked at the chart based on what the last person said. They're like, oh, you don't actually feel those pains. That's not actually real for you. And that's frightening as a patient, right? You don't want to hear stuff like that. You want to hear solutions, not that you're delusional in some sort, which is, that's a whole nother thing. But like, it turned out I was right. And this all could have been fast tracked if everyone just had done their jobs better. And I don't want to say better, like putting them down, but if they had listened to the patient instead of a piece of paper, they may have gotten somewhere a lot faster and the trust wouldn't have been lost.
Yeah. Yeah, and just had better tools available and shorter wait times, because that's just, it's so crippling right now. Just the wait times alone are costing lives. So, yeah. And you had said something interesting about being able to monitor certain things, and that's sort of like the next thing. There's actually an app where if you cough around it or into your phone's microphone, it can tell you why you have that cough. Like, is it a disease? Is it the common cold? Is it COVID? Is it
tuberculosis, asthma?
Yeah.
There's so many different things. And with 80% accuracy too.
Which is good, because it's only going to get better as more people use it. And it can obviously sort of detect these.
Yeah, obviously 80% isn't the best average, but it's really good. It's better than 50-50. 80% is really good, especially if that's the base level, And like you said, it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah. As soon as people use it more, and it builds up that database, and you can really differentiate those subtle noises that you can hear between
little
them.
rasps, things like that.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
I know. And there's so many more different applications like this that are coming. It's hard to like digest it all. It's hard to understand it all, but I just know that it's going in the right direction. Like, I know people were afraid of AI at one point, like what's going to happen. But with seeing the progression of what it's being used for, the utility, it's insane. And it's all positive things for humanity. And I think that's the really exciting part about AI.
Yeah, I think getting it involved in the healthcare system right now is a great start, because that's a good place to build trust as well. People are very skeptical of AI, and if it can help longevity and better people's lives while they're here, that's a good trust builder right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, I just keep coming back to those wait times just because I've been waiting so long. Like, the wait times alone will make everyone feel better about healthcare altogether.
Yeah.
Number 4, though, is a really good one, too. An AI model that can predict precancerous cells.
Right.
So, like, we were talking about the cough, or having a cough diagnosed from your mic on your phone, which is amazing. But now we're talking about precancerous things. And if anybody out there has known somebody with cancer, which I'm almost 100% sure you've known at least one person in your life that's had cancer or heard of someone. So like, this can eradicate people dying from diseases that, you know, could otherwise be detected faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did see that there's an AI model out there that can actually, if you do a scan, can detect pancreatic cancer 2 years before any other machine or doctor out there can right now.
That's amazing.
A 2-year head start on pancreatic cancer, which is usually a fast-acting cancer, like that's very important for anyone going through that. And then they can scan you if you've had it in your family, because there are some genetic markers, and you could have an even more advanced warning.
Yeah, and I've said this so many times, we're always going to talk about movies here. Everything can be related to a movie in some way or another, which is great for people because then it gives you a visual too. There's a movie called
Gattaca?
Gattaca. Wow. Gattaca with, what's his name? Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. And Jude Law.
Extremely good movie.
Yeah.
And it actually, there's a lot of things in that movie that are starting to come out since 2020. Like the embryonic babies. You know what I mean?
Basically like, genetically modified babies.
Yeah, and that's what this whole movie was about, was like normal people and then these genetically enhanced people. So like right when they are, you know, conceived inside a woman, the doctor can then be like, okay, like we can change this, or the likelihood of the child dying of this by this age is, you know, greater or less, you know. So we're going to see a lot of things like that come into play too, and that's exactly where these last two things with the cough and now the precancerous cells, that's where it's all leading. It's just leading to genetically enhanced humans that can live for a long time. And like if you can hold out right now, most of your body, like not needing these upgrades, like right now, because nobody wants to get in at the ground level, right? Something like that, like because you could get something now that would then make it harder for your body to accept some kind of a transfusion or a transplant in the future. So if you can keep your body in tip-top shape now for like 10, 20 years, you're going to be able to take advantage of a lot of these 3D printed organs, you know, just a lot of these enhancements done by AI and robotics. So just know, if you can last 10, 20 years, you're probably going to last a very long time. And that's very exciting. I know. I love that. Because imagine what you could do with, say, 2 lifetimes worth of time, right? Shit. Sorry for swearing, but that's so grand. That can change families' bloodlines forever. Yeah. Right?
That could be a whole topic all on its own.
Yes. So what else? I wrote down a few other things here about this. Healthcare systems. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Digital technology, data, and AI have the potential to transform healthcare systems and expand their reach to impact the public and private sectors. But both of these public and private sectors need to work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because right now we're like inching our way there for private and public sectors. You know, everybody wants private because they think it's going to be better healthcare. But really, when the government gets behind something, there's a whole bunch of cash and come with it. So I think both private and public need to come together. Probably private ideas and public funds. Right?
Yeah, it will be interesting to see all of the new companies that sort of crop up and are doing AI medical stuff, especially serving like communities that are very remote and it's hard to access things like this. If you have an AI machine that can do an EKG and MRI, like a combination of all these medical things that are readily available to people that live in large urban centers but don't have that in rural areas, that's going to be a game changer for so many regions.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive. Like right now, the World Health Organization, or the WHO, has declared a healthcare worker shortage around the world. So the whole world. And it's an estimated $10 million, or wow, that would be nice if that's all it took, $10 million bucks to change. No, it's an estimated 10 million workers are needed. So that's 10 million jobs, you know?
That's a lot.
And we can bring that in a lot faster with bringing in AI and getting everybody on this healthcare app. Okay, well, what do you think?
Yeah.
Those are 4 ways that AI can better your life, save your life, your family's life, and prolong your life, your future.
Which is huge.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it. All right, so I'll take the reins on Fintech. Finfluencers. And I say Fintech as a mistake, but that's actually where this kind of comes from. Because Fintech is the next stage of banking, monetary systems, everything. This is blockchain. It's everything.
Crypto.
Yeah. So they take Fin from that and then influencers and they put them together. So Finfluencers. And that's the financial advice revolution. So all this is just a bunch of people going on social media accounts, and they're talking, not unlike us, about banking, how to do it, because these are things that our generation and a couple generations after us, they're not taught this in schools, right? They're just not. Now it's starting to come in, but it's also coming in as a way that you are a consumer.
Yeah.
Not a business owner. Like this, they're not going to tell you how to bank as a business owner. They're not going to tell you how to bank if you want to create generational wealth for your family. They just won't. They want you to book trips. They want you to rent cars, leases, basically
buy a home.
Yeah, you're in the rat race for the rest of your life. So Finfluencers, they actually help you get outside of that box, right? And it's very simple. With the visuals and then somebody showing you like, hey, this is how you use a Visa, right? Very simple stuff, but it's gaining a lot of traction, and that's why it's becoming a revolution. And I think you need to be a little weary of the information you do take in. Obviously, you need to do your own research, but I think it's freaking great, and it's not unlike what we're doing here with bringing information from the outside of your city, your little world, and then bringing it right to you. So I think we're going to see more and more of that, and more than just the fintech. We're going to see it in every industry, every topic there is. There's going to be somebody out there that can tell you a lot about it, and there'll be an influencer in that industry.
It is nice when like the professionals get involved, and you have accountants giving advice online, you have lawyers giving advice online, you have people that have been CEOs of companies, people that have worked at banks, and they're giving you actual, like, not inside information, but things that you would learn just from being in the industry that you wouldn't learn when you're working outside of that industry. So that's invaluable, because you can do a job that fits your skill set, but then still be taught these things that you wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to learn. I think that's kind of the nice thing about social media.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. And that brings up a very valuable little take that we can give to you. Our backgrounds, I'm a CEO. I've ran multiple businesses. I've started them all from like basically nothing. My greatest one was $80 and a hammer, and it's worth millions. So like, that's my background. That's what I'm into. And I've also written a book lately about that very topic. Renovations, because that's what my business does. My best business does. Renovations, construction. And I just wanted you to know a little bit about me so you can trust the things that I say.
You can say the title of the book.
Oh, yeah. My God. See, I just put this information out there for people so that they enjoy it, so that they get some actual value from it. I'm not expecting a bunch of money off of these things that I do. I just do them, one, to be remembered when I pass on. I want people to look back at the things that I do and be like, wow, that guy went for everything and he did it, you know? So that's the idea there. The book is called My Flipping Life. It tells a little bit about myself, where I came from, the steps I had to make, and some of the hurdles that I went through. And then also how to create generational wealth for you and your family. And you do that through flipping houses. Hence the title, My Flipping Life. Yeah, My Flipping Life, a story of renovations and generational wealth building. You can find that on Amazon. It was on the bestsellers list. Haven't checked in a while. I'm not sure what it's at, but I'm sure it's still pretty good.
It is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, marketing sucks, you know, but I'm trying my best here for it. So.
And my background is I am a lawyer. I worked as a legal assistant for a long time doing corporate law. And then I went to law school, and I'm just starting my practice, and it's going to be focused on corporate, commercial, real estate, sort of the things that we're into together, investing and things like that.
That was a good synopsis, way better than mine. But I tell you, on the back of the book of My Flipping Life, you can check the synopsis on there, and it gives you a nice little rundown.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's free before you buy it. You can see the back. But inside, that's where all the tips, tricks, and secrets are. So you're going to want to buy that. And it's same year I was born. The price is $19.91. Now you know my age, so hopefully you don't think less of me for being 33 doing a podcast. No, I love doing podcasts, but we should get back into it.
Yeah.
All right, so number 2 is
vegetables growing in stores without soil. So this is actually happening in Sweden, and I think it's called Sweetgren. I can't remember.
I thought you were going to say sweetgrass.
No, but grocery stores are operating all the time, and they have fresh produce in the stores already, and they use misters for water and things like that. So what a grocery store in Sweden had started doing is they put in basically like a terrarium, and they're using hydroponics, so they don't really need soil. They just need a little bit for the roots to grab onto, and then they're placed in these little containers almost, and they have grow lights, and they have water running through it inside the grocery store. So it's already operating, it's already has all of these things available, so it's not taking additional resources. And then they're growing the vegetables that they sell in the store. So right now it's sort of started with leafy greens and I guess like spices like dill and stuff like that, like fresh spices.
Nice.
I don't know if a dill is a spice, but I think
that's a spice. Rosemary, dill, things like that.
So they're growing things like that right now as a starter, and it's going really well because they're like I said, all the resources are already there. It's not taking on additional stuff, and then people are getting fresh produce, and they're using vertical farming, so you can stack it up, and you don't need as much space as farming.
Yeah, they'll be doing. Sorry to cut you off, but they'll be doing like heads of lettuce then.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, they were doing.
Are they
that
already
too.
doing that?
Yeah.
Now? Oh, wow.
Which is great, and because the population of the earth is growing rapidly, we know this, and so obviously that means farmland is shrinking because you need to house people, and so you need to push into rural areas and expand to urban centers. So having these vertical farms is going to meet the need of food for all these extra people with less space. And doing it in grocery stores is just an easy match because then you're using less fuel, harvesting it, and getting it to the grocery store. It's already there. You don't need the fuel cost.
Yeah.
You don't need the farming cost and things like that.
That's actually a really good idea. And so where are they happening? Like in the back, in the warehouse?
No, they grow them right in the produce section.
Right in there?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The one that like was on the video was right in there, but I'm sure as things come up, it'll be greenhouses probably next to the grocery stores as they need more and more space. And we actually saw a video last year where there was a grocery store in the United States that was growing vegetables on their roof.
I was just thinking that. Okay, so that
really
is
cool.
a thing. I was like, man, you could just put like a dome over the roof and have it right on the exterior walls, right? And that would be your foundation, and then you could still walk on there, and that's still a lot of load.
Yeah.
But somebody's done it. So that's amazing. So
and that's super exciting. And that's so much better fresh because in Canada, we have a very short growing season for things like that. So a lot of our produce is brought here. And by the time you get it to your house, you have like 5 days. And then it's not as fresh anymore and things are going bad. So having something that's been grown right there and plucked that day that you can bring home, it's going to last 2 to 3 weeks, which is great for consumers.
Amazing for consumers. And because like right now, if your produce is lasting over 3 weeks, there's likely a lot of preservatives in that. Maybe that's not something you want to be congesting.
Yeah, and with growing inside, because it's not outside with bugs and things like that, you don't need pesticides.
Oh.
So it cuts the chemicals by 95% that's in the food. Which, I mean, eventually I assume they can cut it by 100%, but it is still like indoor produce. Maybe there's aphids and things like that.
People coming in.
Yeah.
You're bringing your own bacterias in that grow into something, right?
Yeah. I assume they're going to get better at that as it becomes more and more popular.
Yeah. Everyone was just walking to the stores with like suits on, Isn't that what we all did during COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, that was weird.
That was.
Man, what a letdown after like knowing that it wasn't like that. Like it was bad, but it wasn't like that bad. You didn't need a suit.
Yeah.
You know?
I
You didn't have
forgot
to wash all your stuff. I don't know if you're one of those people that did. I didn't really do that, but a quick wipe down, you know, we did do that.
I forgot to mention one more thing.
Hit
Growing it in the store using hydroponics actually uses 99% less water than traditional farming.
Wow.
So coming up to like
That's
maybe
huge.
a water shortage when there's drought and things like that, that is massive. Because we've seen in Canada...
That's a fraction of the water you now need.
Mm-hmm. Like we saw in Calgary
I guess it
reuses. Yeah.
It reuses a lot of the water because it's not sitting in the soil and it's not being dried up by the sun. Seeping into
the ground, Yeah, we saw in Calgary this year, they had a pretty massive water main break and there was huge water restrictions. And it was very frustrating for people, especially because it was quite a hot summer there. And so things like this can just reduce the water usage. And when things like that happen, it gives more options to people.
Yeah.
And they might have not had to reduce so much had the water not been diverted to so many agricultural things.
Yeah. And they were sent right back to Western times, go to the saloon for a wash down.
Yeah.
The brothel. Yeah, the brothel for a wash down. That's funny. Okay, so telehealth platforms. Empowering millions. What does this mean? I'm about to tell you. Okay, so founded by Jalil Alabadi. I'm so sorry if I didn't say your name right.
Probably not saying these right,
but great man, and he's come up with this. Him and his dad. His dad actually started this 20 years ago by collecting data, raw data from like patients, and then also libraries and stuff, and like handwriting this stuff down. And he was making a book that was a translation for medical procedures and stuff like that.
Medical dictionary.
A medical dictionary, yeah. And very, very good because they're from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I think it was the first Arabic medical dictionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So telehealth is now an app, right? So they took all of this raw data and knowledge and put it onto an app.
I think the app is called LTB.
Okay. LTB? Is it?
LTB.
Okay. I was going to get to that, but I probably wouldn't have said it that well. This is really good. You can find this app yourself. Apparently, it is in different languages. It's not just Arabic. I think it's in 24 different languages right now, and it's growing. And I, go back to one of our old podcasts. We talk about different languages, how many there is. I think there's like 18,000 languages or something. In Canada alone, we have 2,000 languages.
Yeah.
So not well-known languages, but like
different dialects,
things like that. So it's it's an app that can tell you your health problems, which is very, very cool. It offers 24/7 healthcare via online doctors. So doctors are actually on the other side of this app, and they're, I'm assuming, getting paid somehow. And they'll just sit there and answer your questions, and they actually want to know, right? Mm-hmm. And you can FaceTime with them. You can explain all your symptoms, and then
yeah, I did see that they actually employ over 300 doctors.
300?
That's crazy.
Well, I heard, what was the statistic? It was like, I think it was like 40 million people a month are now using this app.
Well, then 300 doctors make sense.
40 million users every month, which is freaking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is bridging the gap in the rural areas, especially. They gave a story of this little girl who needed a health procedure done. No doctors around, but luckily, thanks to Elon Musk, they had internet with
Starlink.
I was going to just call it SpaceX. Forgive me, Elon. Starlink. to go on the telehealth app and then talk to doctors, and they actually walked her dad through the procedure and saved her life.
Wow.
Freaking crazy, right?
Yeah.
Now, could you go to any hospital and talk to anybody there besides the actual doctor who's supposed to give you information? I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is way better. And there's more to this. The idea is that the patient knows more about their own condition, just like I was explaining. And then I was telling doctors, and they were like, no, no, no. The chart doesn't say that. But obviously, if I'm saying it, there must be something to it.
Mm-hmm.
So their belief is that the patient actually does know more because they are experiencing it and feeling it. They know the aches and pains, the feelings, and they can get diagnosed, the doctors will then diagnose the patients faster with shared information. And that's what it is, right? The shared information.
Mm-hmm.
The doctors, they don't know everything, but they know enough to get the ball rolling, to ask you the right questions, for you to give the right answers, and then come up with the right solution.
And if you're in Canada, TELUS has a Health My Care, and it's not in every province, but it is in some provinces, including Ontario and Saskatchewan, where we are. And it sort of offers the same thing. It is online access to doctors 24/7. I don't know if it's as robust as the LTB app, but it is a good start, and it's something local. So,
well, the idea with both of these is that it's, again, just like an AI model. Mm-hmm. It's collecting that data, and it's using that data for the future people, right? So the more people that use it, and we're at 40 million users a month, the more people that use it, the more AI is going to get smarter about it. And this is just a base model here, right? Like this is like a MacBook, right? Or not a MacBook, but like a Mac computer. Or no,
Mac
actually,
PC?
what's the...
Is it called the Macintosh? Like the original?
The Macintosh. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
The Macintosh. This is like the Macintosh, and now we have computers on our phones.
Yeah.
So this is just the beginning, and it's going to scale up to, I'm sure, a humanoid servicing you. That sounded weird. A humanoid servicing your healthcare.
Yeah.
And that, I think, I'm very excited for. And if you're not, I mean, you need to rewind. You need to rewind. You need to listen to this again.
It is going to do great things.
Major milestones.
So the last one we have here is underwater tractors replanting seagrass. So as we've all known, reef and things like that, as more shipping is overseas, more human contact is underworld, like we do travel, we do scuba diving, we do all sorts of things. We dump pollution in the ocean. There's a whole bunch of boats, like
some great things and some not so great things.
Yeah, we're really hard on this planet, and so now we're conscious of that, and we're trying to undo the things that we've already done. And so, replanting seagrass. It's a company called ReefGen. So they restore underwater ecosystems. That's so hard to say, and I don't know why.
You want to say it again?
No. So they have this tractor. It doesn't look like a tractor. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. If you're really excited to see a mini tractor on the seafloor, it doesn't look like it. No, it looks more like the Mars rover kind of thing, but definitely built for underwater. So they send this down. They send this down because it can dive further than a diver can, and for a lot longer than a diver can, especially because divers run into insurance issues when you're diving for a company. It's very expensive because it's very high risk.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of places that divers aren't even allowed to go because they don't want human contact there because the ecosystem is so damaged. So they send down this tractor, and it's able to actually monitor the situation. It can grab samples, which they can take back to the lab and see how bad it is. And then it can go down and actually replant little seagrass. So it can take samples of the seagrass that's down there so that they can take it back to the lab, test what kind it is, and then replant the exact same kind, or even splice the strain, grow it, and then replant it. Yeah. And then it restores that ecosystem.
And then just starts like, wow.
Which is really great. And then Japan has started this year. Like, we know everyone's pushing towards like net zero and things like that.
By 2030, folks.
Yeah. And so carbon emissions are being taxed by businesses. So Japan has implemented where you could get carbon credits by planting seagrass.
No way.
So if you're fixing the ocean with your business, you actually get carbon credits, which can offset some of the carbon that you use
chuck
to
some
make
seeds
those.
in the water.
Maybe do a little bit more than that, but
no, that's really cool. That
Yeah.
reminds me of this. It's not quite a tractor either, but there's another unit out there that's almost like a submarine that like has an arm that goes down. So like this whole boat, and then on the bottom there's this arm that drops, and then it like goes right to the floor, like the sea floor, and then it pushes a bunch of air into there, which takes all the water out. And then because that arm's like this, there's stairs here, and you can walk down and actually stand on the bottom of the ocean floor, and you can like kind of do your own. Like,
that is
dig
very
up
cool.
Yeah, very neat.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, I'll show it to you later. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where it is out there. I don't even know what it's called, but I remember seeing it, and I thought, wow, what an innovation. That's
super cool.
right, because then you can check out all of these places that were difficult to before with, like you said, doing underwater anything is very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can just like walk down there and you can search for treasures, and I mean, I love treasure hunting. I've done it once in Belize, and I found a quarter. It was saddening to see that the quarter was only like 3 years old, but it was still very cool to know that, like, okay, well, maybe around 3 years ago, somebody dropped this in there, and I found it.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at finding things underwater.
Yeah,
we were traveling with a couple, and she lost her ring in the sand, and I dug around in the water for, I don't know, an hour. We all did, but I ended up finding it a little bit later, and it was really cool.
Yeah. It's a great feeling. Once you've done it once, it's like addicting. You're like, oh my God.
I want to pull more things out.
Yeah, what else can I find?
Yeah.
Did you have more to say about that?
No, that was all of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I cut you off there, so you're sure?
Oh, yeah, that was all of it.
Right. Check out these things, rewind, like, subscribe, send this to a friend. We're just building this podcast, and we want to grow with you. And we don't want to put a lot of pressure on you, but to grow with each other, we need to tell each other things. So tell your friends things. We'll keep bringing you information every week, by the way.
And we also have pages on Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok.
Yeah, we're doing the TikTok thing. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, cool.
All right, well, this has been the Global Falcons Podcast. Again, I'm Andrew L.G. Hunter. You can find me on all platforms under that handle.
And my name is Angela Hunter. You can find me on all platforms under that handle, except for X, which I am YXE Crypto Hunter.
And we'll probably get into that and blockchain in another day.
Yeah.
But this has been the Global Falcons Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.